Hi everyone. I'm making this video because there's a lot of time wasting in this world due to our stimulus world outside of us that gets our attention all the time. And that's not going to change, but it will change in different ways as different light and different creations occur. The energy of it will change. But the stimulus world gets our attraction. We are here to create with it. But the process that's ignored is that there is a process that's happening more than just from the person's hands or eyes and body showing up to get busy doing something. At any stage of any exterior scene process the human participates in, right? Before that, there is the energetic process. Now, we just think that comes from having a brain, but we just got to think a little bit more about that. We have an emotional energy body. It's 4D, so it's part of us, but you don't go, oh, look at that emotional energy body. But what you can do is look at the person and you feel how they're feeling sometimes. You see that they might be in a certain emotional state. So there is this other energetic functioning that's part of us. And we have the mental body, so the mind. So we can have any kind of thoughts in our energy. So this is the tidying up process of taking time with yourself in what humans just know as meditation. But then when you get to the next awareness of it, say you've sat in meditation, you're like, ah. And over a little bit of time, it's like, I have changed and have a little bit more energy because I take the time to clear out emotional or mental things that I really don't need. They just kind of drop away. And then there's things that happen in our life where they might play a part in the circulation having not been cleared in this way. So then we can carry stuff from different parts of our life we start to identify with, calling it our permanent selves. So the main aspect to take notice of is that what is this energy? Okay? We got to label it as what it is. It's spirit. So we have the 4D with the emotional and mental bodies. Otherwise, I wouldn't be speaking to you. I wouldn't feel a little bit cold from the weather change. You know, I wouldn't have this body to now look out into the field of different light spectrum that we're able to see. This is spirit. Spirit into body, dense 3D form. From like the yin and yang of life coming together to be in creation form so that we can have a body, and our tools are the emotional and mental body, and this is all spirit. So we can't just walk around like headless chooks anymore and just say, that person. We're just a person. Like, oh, just those people. Because there's this other element when you recognize that we're spirit. And then so what is the spirits doing here in these bodies? Well, they're eternal souls. And so I see, feel, hear, and know the soul as the little person born evolves through relationship, learning of the energy of the world, getting some independence and learning of who am I. In that who am I, you get to the heart. Now, if you've got an environment that's got love going on somewhat, you know, like when I was a child, I used to love the habit of my mother and father. We'd kiss and hug good night. Now that's a beautiful amount of love that a child needs to go off and have a lovely rest, wake up into hopefully a happy home, etc., etc. So when you get to the heart space, you need, as a human, you're opening up to the awareness of who you are. And if that is somewhat loving stability, the soul and the identity of the human is going to be free to, the human and the soul will work together in the world. So this eternal soul you are can bring through what its path, what is true to its path for this time. And we have paths, but we have free will choice. So there's paths for things to occur in our lifetimes, but we get the creative choices of what directions to take. But because it's an energy field, what the path will do is the energy will speak to you to notice things. We have the emotional mental body for this. Oh, I feel like I'm really drawn to that. Or I don't really like that. Or I don't really like that sometimes can be because there's something there for you to learn. This is why there's challenges to get you to take notice, because the soul path is about expansion. So then you're coming up to truthful expression. And now in this time period on earth, we are learning that we are this, what I just described, we are this soul. And so the soul has more to express. We've been pushed down into the material world focus. So we're still getting overstimulated from what's been created. Money has been king, separation, division, killing, ridiculousness. And in all of those things, fucking mess. So that's what happens when the human soul has been pushed down like that. And so we need love, people. We need love for expansion of each other. We need not like battle, devise plans against each other. We need to actually take the upper and say, even though I don't feel like I had enough love, while I'm here, this world needs love. And when you start to do that and you take those brave steps, then your eternal soul and the human can feel more contentment because it can come through. So you've had your challenges, you might not have had enough love, you might have had all sorts of things going on with the identity of like who you thought you were as a human so far. But just remember, it is always going to be love or fear. Fear is our push down, which we've believed is our identity. Love and the upper is our true identity. Otherwise we wouldn't have these 4D and the stars, the sky, the solar system, the cosmos, and everything else that can be described via different souls aware of different parts. You can learn more of that. So it is very important that we're not still believing in everything in the stimulus world and as though love doesn't mean anything, is only for some people. I never got it, so I'm not going to give it. All this stuff. So you got to come back to the awareness that you got to take care of this inner world. And if you haven't had certain things, you're not to blame the world, because you're here as a soul to get through your path with some challenges and grow. So you're going to have to remember in your chakra system, okay, so where am I at now? Why is like life this particular way? And go to cmed.com if you want assistance with the chakra awareness of you uniquely, and participate in the questionnaire to get some insight and clarity on how you're using your energy and what can be of assistance for growth insight. It will benefit you on many layers. Okay, it's a questionnaire called CHII on cmed.com, Carolyn Mace. because that is what we need to do. So if you want to take charge and sort of start identifying aspects of how to open up in any chakras that are imbalanced. And so we want to come back home to our interior world, and that's why you would do that kind of awareness activity for yourself, so that you start to grow the distinction simply that you can maintain an interior world of your consciousness that is not one with the mass. Because that embodiment of yourself in your own conscious awareness and commitment to maintain what kind of life I want for myself, I have to maintain it inside. So we need that distinction that we do have something else to take care of, and it's not just, it is most definitely from like eating well, resting well, doing some wind down activities, doing creative activities, which is what you'll learn when you learn a little bit about the chakras. Everyone has the same consciousness to go through at these levels, which is why, as a whole, we get to the love area in us and we check in with how we're operating there. Okay, so you can be honest with yourself when you do things like that questionnaire, because it will give you honest things to consider, grow with, and contemplate, because that's really what you want to do. For the exterior world balance, we want to do our own unique soul's interior growth to live it. And so instead of a lot of the times like what us humans will do, feel the fear and try to approach the fear at the same level of the fear. So we've been mixing it up in the fear. So what happens then? What we've got now. And like, pop the cork on that bottle and just pretty much let everything out. So we get it out into the atmosphere, which is what is happening from a higher perspective now. And we become aware of building the interior for our new world. Because when you become aware of building your interior, our interior world becomes important. We don't have old patterns and stories going on in our mind. So in this light evolution, over the past few years especially, the air has become clearer and clearer because of our consciousness coming up and saying, we're not going to live in fear anymore. What are these systems or what are these people saying to us? And now, because that cork come off the bottle with letting all this, we don't want this fear anymore. Well, and then the fear is trying to tell us, like certain leaders are trying to tell us, this is the way it is. Well, actually, no, because that was built on us supporting it. And it's not the truth. So we uprise in our own consciousness, in awareness and love for our whole self. So when I go like this, I mean, I'm committed to making that time for me. No one is going to fear me into spirit, what are you talking about? Or soul wants to do a certain thing, and then this world says, no, fear, 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 fear when people stand out, because we're all that much connected that we kind of think we're going to tell each other what to do from our own mind pattern construct of fears that we've all lived through on this planet. Okay, so it's the brave ones that stand up and say, well, my heart actually wants different. My identity doesn't identify with you, and it doesn't have to. We're unique souls. So I am beginning to call this check in with yourself. So you know how you think of, check in is like 10 o'clock for a hotel or something? Well, check in with yourself, your hotel, your building, but it is of a definite consciousness template we all have, but it is keep yourself in the flow awareness that you are spirit, and whatever you've experienced, there is ways, and there'll be more connections of this, of how to let go of this thought forming density we start to identify with, holding on through fears. Oh no, but this is who I am because I remember when this happened, and so I don't know, I'm not good enough, or I can't do that, and so it becomes our identity, but it's built on fears of others. So it's like a breakthrough when the person, do that questionnaire if you're looking for something, or find a teacher that you truly resonate with. You have to let go of the mind, and you're sitting there listening to the teacher and you're like, yeah, there's something in that for me. Or if it doesn't drop and there's not something, then just keep having a look. Because you're not to become something else idolizing. The teacher is to hold a space where you feel like you can absorb something and it will assist something in you. So you're always looking at how you feel freer, really. Have they got something there? Yeah, I could actually do that. Or what they say makes me feel like I can expand a part of myself. It is not about constriction, involve the mind. I've got to become something, sit this certain way, make sure I do this certain thing, etc., etc. It's about the individual becoming freer in growth of their consciousness. So we got to the throat chakra, and you can start to emanate truly what the heart and the soul coming through in your loving support, who you truly are, or what your soul is trying to get your attention with your expanding higher spirit awareness now. So you're in the higher, which is loving appreciation kind of energies. Because when you put love onto something that's you've been fearing, you're raising your energy field. So you start to notice and feel, and this to some people is so foreign, because we have been living in such a stimulus mental drag down, insulting each other kind of life. So even though it feels foreign to love, or we might be scared of it, it's always going to be the answer, because we have to keep living, so you have to keep expanding who you really are. You can't get away and say, I don't have a heart. Well, then you're going to sort of shrivel in your energy field and not feel good, and all other sorts of things will cascade into that kind of thought process to do with your life. So you can't avoid this. And then so the answer always for more raising of your energy is, who really am I? And you take time in meditation, perhaps walks, gardening, reading, painting, sitting with a friend. You are taking time in peace because you deserve it. This is raising our energy field. Listen to some music, create something, do something you love as though you're here to do it. Okay? It's not it shouldn't be expensive of your time. No, I can't do that because I'm working so hard, I've got responsibilities, etc. The role playing is dropping away, and the soul needs to come up so that the people are living more of their life, and they're not just a parent. They're not just the money maker. They're not just the home worker. They're not just whatever sort of I'm just this is always going to kind of crush someone unless they've got the balance of I am happy with certain creative activities and doing this. You know, it's a whole perspective, not a if I don't make all the money, fear related. Okay? Because true abundance is the fact that we're here. So we are taken care of. So if you embody more of the truth of who we are, so you gotta give love, and you gotta learn to receive it into. Okay? Patterns in our life can stop us living at the heart. Then what we speak is not essentially what we really feel, where the soul is trying to come through. So this is why you come back home to yourself. You do questionnaires, like the Chi questionnaire on CMed. You do whatever you start to feel passionate about to open up more of yourself. So there's the truth that's allowed to air of the soul, free to come through with the heart. Then the identity is not based in fear anymore. And we are here for the solar evolution. In so many ways, it's not funny. Like solar power, different forms of electricity. We are electricity. Less fear bogged down with the person's solar plexus. This is the colors here. So the solar plexus, green heart, blue throat, then indigo eye, violet white light at our crown. So obviously not everyone can see this, but you can venture into learning more about it in like an open perspective. The more open you are just to listening and see how you resonate, the more learning you will absorb. And that is your true self. You're allowed to branch out. Okay? Because then you're going to start to feel that you are actually energy. Things can easily shift. You will have a clearer third eye, because when you're in the flow of this, I stand by my truth, I'm committed to moving forward at higher vibrations. So I move forward at, and this is how you think of it. It feels good when I'm kind, just free and like, just happy to be kind, you know? I'm not judgmental, hiding myself, fearing life, fearing certain people too much. I just allow a space as though my mind looking at something is not the true accurate reader all the time. And you know when it is, because you'll feel something and be redirected. If it's truly a fear to feel, you will be redirected and you will feel it, listen, and you will move naturally with it. Okay? But if your energy feels in a muddle or a mess, you may not pick up on that, and that's why things can cascade to different occurrences, because there's messages trying to get through to come back to loving oneself. Solar plexus redirection could be that's actually not the path for you, you know. So it's always coming back to awareness of how we're using ourselves, and energetically you get more information on this, which is why I keep recommending doing the Chi questionnaire designed by Carolyn Mace, medical intuitive and global spiritual teacher and leader. Invaluable information through her vast awareness really does help educate us in this growth. And listening to her workshops or anything like that. For your growth. All right, so it's not something you can see, but this is the true embodiment of us if we changing the world. Okay, because what's happening now has been a reflection of our beliefs. That fear is more important in all aspects. All right, it's quite amazing, isn't it? Really, when you think about it. So the more that you lightly journey into learning with your mind field, your mind, mental body, and the balancing of emotions that can also control what your mind thinks, you start to balance in different aspects of yourself. And a lot of the time it is put more love into your focus in the quiet and expand this awareness that this is who you are. Because a lot of the time we can enjoy our life at home, we can participate in creative affairs, but when it comes to us believing that this embodiment of this loving, creative individual now has to go out there into the world and not be that. Like, has to just get things done, or, no, you got to take that loving individual with you. That's how we change our world. We don't just mentally go, okay, now it's time to go and make money. Now it's time to put up with crap treatment from superiority money, like people running the show. When people are treated like crap because it's all based on making the most money. This is the shift. The money fear, work for the money, is ignoring our actual loving embodiment of our soul's expression. And so I might wind it down here because I think I covered everything. But if you just treat this as like, I don't want to say checkup, because I don't want us to view ourselves as there's something to fix. It's more check in with your growing conscious awareness. If you gather insights of how you're interacting in the world, and then be prepared that your exterior, your environments might change, people that come into your life may change, because energy is magnetic. So what you're embodying is attracting at the same level as you. And you have soul tribes on the planet that have soul purposes where, for the whole design of it, in a lifetime, you will, if you are like embodying your truth and not held down in fear, you will open up and magnetically attract this soul tribe. And it's heart connected. It's actually planned that if you do rise in your consciousness and you're emanating this, you will meet with the soul tribe who is here at this time as well. You may have connected in other lives. You may have particular purposes to assist in this life, but everyone is part of soul tribes. So there is wider purpose for your importance of evolution of growth. And that's contentment, everybody. And so I've been fully committed to that. Like, I was meant to evolve to be speaking to you now about it because this is where we're at. But when you get to the stage in your life, and because the energy on the planet, it was around 30 years old where I started to just open up to this massive commitment that there is way more, and it is speaking to you because there is a design going on for your soul's path that is calling you. So you can't explain to your current environments because you're energy, okay? So if you have to have conversations and education where we start to open up to, I don't actually have to answer to keep things the same, because we're an evolution of change. Change has always been happening, but now we're in the evolution of it because shit has got messy on this planet. So time to rise. So gracias everybody for listening, and I hope you pick up on something of assistance and have a great day, week, month and year. I'll see you again before then. And that's it for this video, because I just wanted to get clear and concise, crisp information through for your input, like for you to be aware in your field, your system, just the input, taking through whatever resonates with you. I slowed right down then to make sure I was completely finished, because I work consistently with the light field, and they reminded me something else that was very important that actually sparked more of this. It was part of earlier on, that in all that I've said, when you start to do this, that's great. It's a huge, important, most impactful way of being, because it's the truth. When you start to embody more of you and not feel any other way, but you're allowed to be more of you. Well, in that, because in that, you connect more to your planet and energy sphere, the cosmos. So you are completely always held in that respect, okay? And yes, it doesn't look like you're held, but we are in that as a whole. So as you connect in this peaceful, like in a contemplative drink on your veranda or something, and you're just like, I'm doing this consciousness work. I see how things have changed. You might do an audio recording for your, like a journal on your phone to get stuff out, and perhaps you will bring through some more like intuitive nature guidance for an idea you've got. So all this relax, connect into presence. Or you might have a lovely journal and a pen, and you just like gazing at the garden or something and just journaling, and then ideas will come through, etc. So all this present space is important, and it's very real connection with the heaven and earth, the mother and father nature of us as like universal cosmic light beings present within it. So I wanted to highlight that taking a moment's pause in that is what you could call meditation, but also just remind yourself to take that deep pause in all, so you can just get that appreciation that you are of something more. And it's through your breath, obviously. You're breathing one with this. And you just settle your field. into the aliveness of how the nature of everything holds you. The planet, and the power of the universal love light law that is the whole. So you breathe, in and right down. I am a part of the whole. And it's quiet inside. You take this time because from there that that quiet inside, your field of light expands, which means there is this interior world that assists opening your path in leadership of your soul's presence. Leadership of your soul, your soul's presence. So never doubt that taking a pause together or apart, like on your own or in a group or at any time really, in conversation, at work, just say, I need a moment, and you just really take that moment for your field. You let go and you surrender, and your energy field will speak to you, because it's not the stimulus that should drive you, it's checking in. And so the depth of the surrender, supported by the depth of your intake of breath, supports you. And that's truly all we are when it comes down to it as spirit, but now we are embodied into form. So if you can connect with your most purest form and learn that that's available at any time, any moment, and it's drawing in your supportive assistance, because your spirit guides, your team, the universe is a love vibration, and we just haven't recognized it in our fearful, dense belief, continuous creations. And so if you just embody it, the fact that it's your medicine, like, I'm bringing peace to my space and the answers will drop in. You got to have that faith and trust to let go in your conscious expansion that, we are more than these heavy sort of headed, get things done. Perhaps struggle a bit too much, continue with things that aren't really working so much. We've got to sort of shake off some of that energy now by our rise in more awareness and consciousness and our unique souls supported. And then do that for, know how good it feels for you, and others will feel your emanation. There's no we got to remember, there's no hard work in trying to prove to people. It's just stay in your awareness of taking you forward from what you've learned is the truth of you. The interior world is important. The consciousness and the levels is important to me, and I maintain them as best I can for me. Well, that's the light that you emanate. And that shifts the planet. Okay, and then you attract more soul tribes that are doing this as well, and you support each other. That shifts the planet. So we're in that time of massive growth of that, and we'll see more of. So pauses are important. You are important. So love it. Love your time spent in depth. And if you're feeling a tug of war with, but I've still got to do this and I've got to do this, that's where you need more insights and honesty to face actually what your heart wants to do. So you journal, you speak it, you rest on it, you do creative things you love, because you're here to rise into doing more that you love. You're here to share that soul. Okay? Because we just give into the tug of wars of the old. Oh, I've got to do this, I've got to. They say. It's just the way it is. Shh. Come home. Love your soul. So at any time, bringing consciousness to the forefront, a pause is come home to yourself, and we've got more to share. We'll get more done in an easier togetherness affair. And let's take any sort of lower vibrational context of that out of it. It's an open, loving space. Just because I do have some energy resonance of what I'm going through at the moment. So I just needed to mention that it is always of a higher frequency nature when I'm saying what I'm saying. So the pause is your commitment to embodying your lighter, intelligent, high-speed spiritual connection to infinite intelligence. So we are that. And so that's why we raise our consciousness out of the fear paths. And we confront and release through, our higher consciousness path, things that are not serving us or our space globally. Us, our space, and we all do that for the globe. Honest to the heart. I think the true core of consciousness raising is that we actually listen to what our soul is trying to say to our heart. You're allowed to do that. You have the feeling like you want to do that. But then the mind comes in from old patterning, you can't do that. And then the emotions will say, but remember, I wasn't happy because they battled me at doing it. And so it's easier just not to do it. So then the heart doesn't speak. So we have to be honest, take that time out, appreciate ourselves, connect with our true support of the consciousness of the planet and our divine support, the whole thing, to open ourselves up, because we are one with infinite intelligence. Pauses more regularly allows your soul to speak. Sometimes you may even say things that are new to you because you're letting yourself take the pause. You get silent information. You get silent higher vibration. You're allowing the free flow of this. So you take a pause. You don't do a restricted mind thing. Because in the breath and the space of the pause, something else has a chance to rise up in you, and don't get in the way of expressing it. And normally if it's your soul, you're going to feel an excitement from your gut, your solar plexus, your heart's going to agree with it, and it's going to come out your mouth. Or you're going to be drawn to activate something with your expression, your body and soul expression, because you let it come up and out of you. And this is where you get clear visions of where you're heading, and then it works with your expression. And all of this is supported by the divine crown connection. So if we're doing this for ourselves through this strong but subtle, gentle, strengthening empowerment of the subtle, we're going to see the limitless feeling nature of life. We're going to have higher intelligence drop into our field via soul connection of spirit guides, other guides of spirit that are connecting with our path at certain times, for the expansive feeling that all really is well with the world. Like, my field isn't caught up. You know, I am this unlimited nature. So, the check-in, the pause, all of it at any time. It's called co-creation. So cooperate with the expansive part of you in creation. Okay. So once we start doing that, we don't ever really, as we all start connecting, and everyone's sort of, you're connecting with Soul Tribe, or you just, the more of us doing that, we're in cooperation with our true connection. And I do have a low battery, but to finish this chat on the hour, I will draw a new animal card, animal spirit card. So I won't be a second. Actually, I'm guided to the angel deck. So we're shuffling a card in this conscious moment of all that's been expressed and how best to move forward with any questions in the space of that. Because that's where I, or all of us, can allow our energy field to accept the whole as non-divisive, and what's the highest intent calling us forward. That's the message. Question for the message. So I'm getting 2 cards. So I'm splitting the deck and looking at one on the bottom. I got these 2, children and trust. Lovely cards, aren't they? Okay, so it's speaking of innocence and trust that you are guided, protected, and loved. What else am I getting from that before I have a quick read in the book? Reach for your higher aims. Know that you are in a constant flow. As you can see, the card is like the energy of it. I'm feeling the message, and it's correlating with the illustration, how the message expands. And so with the children card, it's like childlike play and wonder. So for a lot of us, as I said, we think we don't have time for that, or it's, you know, time is expensive, and to include other activities, or even just the conscious perspective in the moment. Like, I don't have to do this in a state of worry, concern, neglect myself. No, I bring my heart to the presence of it, and I'm going to enjoy whatever I do in my life. So this is like the alignment, commitment of balance, that this is who I am. You bring it consciously to anything you're doing. So that's the inner childlike, you are here to be that child with the adult creations, but you are to enjoy your life. It's the higher loving vibrations. You are here for that. And trust, you are, have access to one with heaven and earth. Okay, so she's very peaceful and calm, and just reaching to touch the, I think, the sun rising there, which is like a glowing sphere representation of, you know, the spherical nature of life. Peace, love, light. I live well. I'm conscious of how I live, and I'm making that disciplined aspect of myself more raw and real to me. I am this. I'm allowed to. Do you see my glowing ball of energy here? You know, like, I am one with this. All right, so we'll have a quick read of the author's cards though for any further, because I feel like there's something else in there for all of us to be reminded of. Let's get some more light on the matter. And there's the trust card. I don't know if these will stay up. Let's see. I'll read the children card first. Need more light. You are asked to pay extra attention. Oh, I need to get my reading license. You are asked to pay extra attention to your children or your inner child right now. New children may be coming into your life very soon. Into your life very soon. This card signals that the angels see your need to play, have fun, and honor your inner child. Perhaps you will play with your own children or grandchildren, or you might enjoy having fun with another adult or doing work that involves helping children. Take some time to ask your inner child, how do you feel? And what would you like to do? Plan an afternoon where you take your inner child on an outing, doing things that allow your playful side to emerge. Swing and slide at the park. Take an afternoon nap. Draw on the sidewalk with chalk or build a sandcastle. Okay, everyone? Peace, love, and light. Embodiment. And so trust. Believe in yourself and have faith that God and the angels are with you. Ask them to help you lose the fears that block you from enjoying full faith. Your angels know that you've been disappointed in the past. These experiences may have eroded your faith in yourself, other people, or even God. However, the angels remind you of the importance of holding onto your faith. By drawing this card, the angels emphasize the value of self-trust. They know that you, like everyone, have made mistakes in the past. However, these mistakes have not eroded your true nature. You still have omnipresent God within you, and God is infallible. The angels ask you to trust in God and to trust in them. They will help you trust yourself. Accurate. God bless. The one thing I want to mention is you still have God within you, and God is infallible. Us spirits are having the human experience. God is the divine nature of creation from its highest through all dimensional experience. So there is an infallible nature to all of creation, because the fact is, it's for creation. So you're going to make mistakes, and you're going to learn how to create differently. And at the same time that these things are happening in duality, it's the soul that's having the expansion experience. So you can't you can't give in and say, I'm not good enough or I'm a failure, because the truth is we're here to learn via these things, and trusting God and the angels of the infallible assistance for our design, their connection, in constant motion. So if we get stuck and not want to expand the heart again, or our identity, then we're not using our whole resource. So that's what I wanted to say with the infallible nature of God. It is higher assistance. It is higher assistance always. If you want to help lift yourself out of something, you can simply learn to request and surrender it from your energy field. I'm going to give this to God. You don't have to picture a man or a particular thing, because we are one with that creation nature. So it's simply trust that we are that nature and we are assisted. So you just you give it to the power of that. And the reason why we put so much sort of emphasis on God is because we think, well, with all the power of creation, why isn't he making it perfect? We're here for an experience. He's not making it perfect. We get to choose. If we're having worries with that, give the worries to him so that we can rise up in guidance and direction. Okay? So there's really no one to blame. You're here for an experience. Like, maybe 100 years or so, if, if that's our past creation. There's all different interplay there. So let's take a pause and let that sink in. childlike wonder, creation, and trust. Give your fears to God. And we just hit the 1 hour mark, so perfect. God bless everyone. I hope you soaked in some real loving information to love yourself. As one. But don't forget, one is in here. So take care of yourself. And taking care of yourself is the one. I muchly enjoyed this again. Anything else I can help with in a higher nature, leave it in the comments. God bless. Bye for now. See you again soon.